CEC meeting for next Wednesday and to discuss the logistics for our town hall with the chancellor, which is scheduled for Tuesday, May 18th. We've been collecting questions from the community and trying to pull them together. So I wanted to go through how we're going to conduct that town hall, right? So all CEC members are entitled to ask a question as representatives of their constituents. And then we've been taking questionnaires from the community. So we will try to ask as many questions as we can. I believe it's for 1 hour, right? And I think it starts at either 6 or 7. Carly, do you know the details? I don't have the invitation.
I think it's 6. I have
It is
to
6, yeah.
6, right?
From 6 to 7, right?
Yeah.
So an invitation went out last week, right? When we got the formal invitation.
Yes.
You don't have that here, right?
The actual flyer, no, I don't have it on.
You'll put that up on our CEC meeting next Wednesday. This way,
Okay.
the public could see that. They're not on yet?
No, not yet.
So for next week, we had in the past we had hosted the 10-year celebration at the request of the UFT, and they asked if we can have some type of announcement to the community celebrating those that received tenure. I believe we're over 100, right, Danielle?
Yes. Louis, you have the exact number, right?
Yeah, it's like 160.
It's 6, right? I printed it. So what we're going to basically do is we're going to talk briefly. UFT Representative Lamar Hughes wants to make a statement. Danielle, I'm not sure if you want to make a statement as well.
Yeah, I always do just brief, just something brief congratulating everyone.
And then we have to go on and we'll put on the screen the names. So then we have to figure out how we're going to read the names, right? Because it's going to be by school. And the UFT will circulate the certificates to the awardees, and we're going to have to read the names out. So I don't know how you guys want to handle this. The names will come on the screen, and maybe we should go through who's picking, how many groups we have and how many are going to read the names, right? Does anyone not want to read names on the CEC? Akila, you don't? Why not? You don't want to read names?
Hate mispronouncing people's names in front of other people.
I know, sometimes it's tough, but that's why maybe if we do a quick run through. Carly, are you able to put the names on?
Let me try to do that, Joe. Hold on.
Okay. And my understanding is the names, there might be more people rolling in, right, as the time goes by?
No, it's done now. It's done, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The last one was received tenure yesterday, actually.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay.
So how many pages do we have there of names?
A lot. I don't know.
It's one per school.
Yeah, it's one, well, except for PS24 has 2, because they had a lot of names. I think it's PS24.
So we're like 34 pages?
34 slides, but that also includes a welcome and an ending.
Well, that's the 35 pages, right?
Yeah.
36 pages. So the beginning, the first and the last are nothing. Then the names are in between. So we got 34.
So it starts like that, then it goes
So
down.
let's figure out how many people would want to read the names. We'll feel comfortable, and then we'll divvy it up.
Carly, why do you have Beth on there?
But it said,
That was on it. I saw it. Beth Levy, Director of Early Childhood.
So I think the problem is that this is not just teachers.
Yeah, but
Correct. So they're doing the
Oh,
staff
Beth received-
members, the.
Beth
the
got tenure
APs.
as a,
On the
Right.
list.
oh,
She was on my pre-K list.
yeah, wow, that's weird because, okay.
She
Did she
got,
not receive
it's
tenure?
I forgot hers was 5 years, yes.
Beth Levy, then
Yeah,
Regina Alicia, and then I got Jessica this morning.
okay.
And then we have a couple of principals, a couple of APs, so it's been broken down by school. So I think we don't have to read the position, we can just read congratulations from the pre-K center, Beth Levy, Regina
I
Barbieri,
agree, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did-
Can I ask why you wouldn't pre-record it and just play the recording?
Wouldn't that be
Less personal? But at least.
less personal, I guess?
Listen,
Or-
you do it a certain way, no one will even know.
I mean, do we even have time to do it that way?
I mean, it doesn't take long to record names, but I'm just thinking in terms of people saying names wrong or I don't know, just you
So
know, this is
I-
gonna be
I
how
am not-
everyone.
I am not tech savvy. I don't know how to do that. Does anyone, do you know how to do that, Anne Marie? Or does Carly, do you know how to do that? Record the names?
I do know how to- I know how to do that. But
Okay.
who wants to be the voice of the names?
Well, that's why I was figuring, where if all the members take on a page or two, right, and we all read it, since this is all about. We're talking about recording the names.
The whole, yeah,
I'm okay with it. Are you guys okay with it? I can't see anybody who's on, so.
I know, I can't see anybody's faces, so I don't know what anyone's thinking.
Can we get off the screen? Can you put us all, can we put all the,
Have to stop sharing.
the smaller projects.
I'm fine either way. We could record it, it's okay, and we can read it live, it's fine too.
if we record it, we have to, when are we gonna record it? Between now and next Wednesday, right?
Who has the best voice?
Joe.
Definitely not me. Definitely not me. I hate
Akila,
the
you're
voice.
trying to shun your,
No. Hmm.
That's why I figured if we say who would want or who doesn't want to read, but you know, are we all on? Are the other members on, Carly?
No, we're not all on.
Okay, so I figured, you know, we show of who wants to read. If we're 6 people, then we're 34 pages, right? We'll divide it by, you know, whatever, 8 pages each, whatever. But if you want to pre-record it, we can do that also.
I was just asking, I was just.
Then we need somebody to make sure that we're reading the name, we're pronouncing the names right, because it would be worse if we pre-record it and the name's mispronounced. Live is a different story, but I get it. I understand what you're saying, Emery. Might be less pressure.
Right, exactly. But.
make sure you don't change the
it's-
slides,
Sorry.
Lowe's. Make sure you don't change the slides last minute.
Right, we're gonna be reading names like Victor, and then he's not even on the screen, right?
That's right, if we record it, danger.
That could be a danger recording, right? What if you, I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't care. I'm used to winging things live.
I think we're going live by this, I think sounds like we're going live.
I don't care what you guys, tell me what you guys think.
Live is a little bit more personable, I think. If you record it, it's less scary, I guess, but then it's less personable. And the subject to last minute change error.
Can you play the video?
It's not playing.
Not a video.
That's
It
what
could be
I'm
a video.
asking. I'm like, I don't know why
Oh.
it's not playing.
Go
I-
into,
I didn't
Wait.
know it was a video. I thought it was just that you're gonna.
No, it's
go
a
to
whole
slideshow,
thing.
go to
Okay.
slideshow, and
Uh-huh.
then go to from beginning.
From beginning?
Yeah,
Ah, there it goes. Thank you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
you gotta click it along the way.
Hello?
Okay. Hold on.
You're in control of the pace.
It's just hard to see hard to do it and share my screen at the same time. I am gonna have to practice.
So is Louis here? Louis?
Yeah, I'm here.
So this is something that you,
Carly, you can actually oh, actually, no, you can't. You have to share your screen. You can't
What
see
I'm
it you can't see it on your screen?
I'm seeing it. It's just hard to, I'm doing it. Am I not? Is it? You
Yeah.
can't see what I'm
You are,
doing?
It's
yeah.
I
moving.
thought you had
Okay.
said that
Great.
you were having trouble seeing it.
Right, so it transitions in
And
every.
you could just use your arrow key. You don't have to use the mouse.
Mhm.
The right arrow key.
so the only thing is, why is it still the same school? Is that,
No, because PS24 had two.
got it, okay,
It's
It was a
long.
big, yeah, a long list, yeah.
got it, okay. So you're gonna have to coordinate live in terms of, we read the names and then change to the next page. Like, you don't want to go too fast where we don't read the names, right?
No,
She wouldn't click it until the
The
You're
last
last
finished.
name is
read.
red.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just showing you the
it might be
Just one more.
easier to do it live than to pre-record it. Is it that difficult, Louis? Is that difficult to do?
I mean, we basically will do it in Zoom. So we would be in a Zoom meeting, we would, just like we are right now. Someone shares their screen and we read it, and that's what we play at, then we take that recording and that actually just plays like a video. So we would do it in Zoom, like exactly how we are right now.
So I got it.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to do it that way? Anne Marie?
I
I
don't
have a
mind.
hi guys, I have a question.
Christine.
What if the slideshow is going ahead of what the people are reading? Like, what if somebody's
It's
still,
not a slideshow.
okay, well, what's playing now, it's,
I'm controlling
Carly's
it.
just
Controlling
going
oh,
next,
Carly's
next,
control,
next, next,
okay.
next, yeah.
Because that's what I was thinking, is like, somebody could still be reading and we could be on to the next school.
No, I'm just pressing.
Okay.
So just until you tell me what you want to do, I don't know.
Well, let's get all our members on and then we'll decide by vote. Make it easier. Are all CEC members here?
I think I'm still missing Rashmi and
Can-
Monica. Let me see.
Yeah.
Can somebody, does anybody have their numbers they can contact them?
I keep trying to click it and I can't.
I don't-
So this way we figure out how to do this and then we can move on.
And that's it.
So you just went through the 35.
Uh-huh.
What happened to the ending?
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry. I got to 499 and I left it there. Hold on. And thank you. There you go.
So when will we know all of the names are accounted for? Like by when? When is the deadline?
It's already done.
They're done, yeah,
Okay.
there's no more.
There won't be no unexpected names being added.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
No. And Carly, you can, the slide I sent you for Big Apple, you can just drag it into your big deck and add it on.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be at the end or I guess the end, I don't know.
Have they all been notified? When does it?
Yes, I invited them yesterday,
So they were all invited, so,
and all the teachers are invited too. Everyone named on the slides has been invited.
so the only issue we have is the pronunciation of the names, right? We don't want to offend anybody. I didn't, were there any names that were really hard to pronounce?
I didn't really go through the names. Let me see.
I'm scrolling.
There are
through
a few
myself.
tricky names.
Like Justin TSE. How do you pronounce, is that C?
E. Usually that's how they do it.
Do you know from the district office?
So how about we do it this way? So are we going through, who's reading it? Did we decide?
So that's what we're trying to decide. Who's gonna read it?
So
You know,
If
who doesn't
anybody
wanna
that
read it.
gets a group of names and they want us to give them the phonetic pronunciation, we can get that from each individual school. So let's say Anne Marie gets PS 24 and she says, we need the phonetic pronunciations. We can get that for you guys in advance.
Okay,
So if you could do that for us sometimes after whatever you decide today. If anybody that wants us to do that, we'll get that for you and make sure that it's sent out to you. But we just to double check, we'll double check at the school level.
so we don't really have time, right? Because today's Thursday, our meeting's next Wednesday. So let's figure out who wants to read. If we're all on, I know who doesn't want to read. Who does want to read? Show of hands.
I'll read.
Anne Marie?
If we get the phonetic pronunciations, sure.
Okay,
Yeah, so no one gets called a cannibal
nope. Eddie, are you here?
instead
You
of
wanna read?
Knievel.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're good, Eddie, to read? Victor?
Yeah,
you-
sure.
Okay, thanks. Are you good to read, Victor?
Yeah, I'm fine. Rashmi is joining.
Okay. Is Monica coming, Carly? Do you know?
No idea. Let me see.
So so we know who's reading. So I'll read Eddie, Victor, Anne Marie, Brooke. Lily, would you want to read?
Okay, no problem.
Are you okay to read? So Lily,
Yeah.
who am I missing? Christine? She's got her hand up, but she's not
I
there.
raised my hand to read.
You don't want to show your face, Christine?
No, I'm taking care of Rocco right now.
Okay. So Christine will read. Akila, you don't want to read, right? No peer pressure. And we're waiting for Rashmi to come on, and then we don't know about Monica. So let's just. I'm assuming Rashmi doesn't mind reading, right?
She'll probably
And
want
I'm
to
not
read.
sure if Monica's going to join us. Yeah, and Monica as well.
Monica said she's been really busy at work. She didn't know we had a meeting tonight.
So she's not going to join us, right? So I count 7, 8. We 8 people reading? Am I not counting right?
I'm
Holly?
counting. So add more.
Okay, Rashmi's joining.
I'm counting 7. Oh, Brooke 8.
7?
I got 8.
So 8. So we got 34 pages. So let's do an average of 4 pages each. Is that good? If you want, I'll just I'll start or I'll end, and I'll just add on my page if we don't want to read it. Is that okay? Rashmi, we're talking about the tenure. Hi, Rashmi.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I'm late. Just had
No
some business to
problem. You
take
okay?
care of.
All right, so we're talking about a couple of things for next week. We have the 10-year celebration, and we're talking about reading the names of the recipients.
Right.
And we have like 160 names on
Okay.
34 slides. So we're talking about reading the names to the public, right? As the slides come on, and who wants to read, who doesn't want to read. I'm assuming you're okay with reading names, or do you feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah, that's fine, sure.
Okay, so we're eight representatives on CEC who will read the names. We have 34 pages. We figure average of 4 pages each, right?
Right.
So the only, now how we're gonna assign the pages to the people.
I mean, if you want, we can at least choose the school that we are from, and then we can choose the other school as they come, as you assign them.
Does
So that
everybody have that information with them? And it might not be in the order of the, it might be a little bit difficult because it may not be in the order of the slides, right? So,
Nope.
But when you
Yeah,
see a school pop up, you read your school.
but what if you miss it? Now,
You
we know,
Can
like,
do
get
that.
flogged.
like I know if
Can
I
we-
have slide 1 through 4, I'll read the first 4. Then after me goes Amory, or after Amory goes Rushmere, so it makes it a little
The
easier.
schools are in number order.
So
So
Amory will take 129.
Can you, Carly, can you go to slide 2, 3 so we see what it is? Maybe that.
I
way-
had already.
Oh, you already did that. Okay. So wait,
Yes.
look.
They're in number order.
They're
Okay,
all
so
in
it's
number order.
Perfect.
We got the pre-K center. I'd rather go by page number, just make it easier,
Okay.
right? Because, I mean.
Yeah, that's
otherwise-
fine. That's good order too. As long as, let's say, for example, PS 21 is assigned to page 2 and it will always be assigned to page 2. So we can even mix match it. So that looks also some flavorful. So whoever wants to do PS 21, they'll do that. And then they want to do PS 64. So they'll do next time that one. So that way we can do that too.
It's 34 pages.
For you guys, okay, it takes a lot of time to do that. We have to coordinate that, right? We have.
Or
Yeah,
we just-
Joe, I think you're better off just going, like you said, in order.
Order.
1 through 4, 5 through,
It's just easier,
it
otherwise we
gets
gotta, it'll take
easier.
us, you know, because
Right.
the slides are already done. So we can't redo the slides, right? So it might be easier.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll read 2 through, what are we doing? How many
We're doing
slides?
4.
How many
we do
of us?
4 Slides each, right?
Okay, so I'll do 2 through 5.
So,
So then somebody can go after that. I'm just trying to get the ball rolling.
yeah.
No,
let's get the
that's a
ball
good
rolling.
idea. What's number 5, Carly? What's number 5?
PS 22.
Okay, so is PS 23 after it, PS 24 after that? Because I really would like, if nobody has a issue with it,
Yeah.
I would like to go then after
So
Christine,
do,
so that
do,
PS
pa-
24
you
comes
do
in there.
5 through 9, Rushmere.
Hold on one
Okay,
second. I have to
perfect.
write this down.
I'm
So
writing it down.
Christine, you're doing 2, 3, 4, 5? Christine?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
She's
Okay.
doing the pre-K center, PS 20, PS 21, PS 22, right? That's Christine.
So
Then
she's doing
Rushmere.
4.
Two,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right,
Okay, and then
Four slides.
Rushmere is gonna start at PS 24, right?
yes.
Rushmere
Okay.
will do 24.
Hold on, let me go.
pages.
So you're doing 24. The 24 has 2 slides.
Right,
Okay, so I'll
25,
get 2 slides then.
IS 25. Oh,
29.
then-
no.
And IS 25 has 2 slides too?
Hold on. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. So it's, no, just PS 24, IS 25, and then PS 29.
Okay, so I'll do 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, does anybody want to start with PS 32s next? Does anybody have a
I'm gonna write
preference
this
for that?
down.
Anybody?
PS 32, 79, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm gonna wait until I get to 130.
Okay, then I'll do 32. So I'll do 32, JD, 79, JD,
So you'll do 32, 79.
107, JD, and 120, JD. Okay,
So you're only doing 3?
no, go to 120, that's 4.
Joe, but you got schools with lots of names.
I do, I didn't even look at that. Wait, I got 32, 79,
Oh, 79, that's what I missed. Okay.
107, and 120.
120, yeah, okay. Sorry, I missed
Okay.
79.
I
Okay.
put my initials there. And now we got 129. Is that what you were looking for? Who was looking for 129? Maybe you're looking for 130, right?
130 didn't have any schools, didn't have any,
I had nobody getting tenure.
that I saw anything. Sorry, I didn't miss it, but no. No, 130 didn't have anybody.
So who wants to do 129, the next four? 154,
I'll do it.
150? Is that Victor?
Yes, I'll
Okay,
take the next
so
four.
Victor does 129, 154, 163, and 164.
130 한 명도 없네.
Now we got 165. Who's missing? Who didn't?
Can someone text Monica the Zoom link? I can't do both right now.
Esther, can you text her in?
So we're at 165?
Yeah, we're at 165. Emery, you're holding off?
I was muted. I
Oh,
was
you-
talking and I was muted.
There she
So
goes.
I'll do 165. That's fine.
Are you okay? I'm just, because I want to get this rolling, right? So,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
It's fine.
So Anne Marie.
Monica's in.
Okay. And Monica. Monica?
So it'll be 165, 169.
Hi, Monica.
Hi, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm gonna just fill you in very quickly. We're reading names for the award ceremony on the tenure for next week. Do you want to read names? Are you comfortable with that? Are you?
I
We
mean, as
We didn't include you in so far, but if you want, we got like two slides.
Monica, you keep muting.
because I had a double eye infection, so
I think you're telling me you have an eye infection. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay that we don't put you on as reading the names? Are you comfortable with that? You don't mind?
I'm fine.
Okay.
So can I just, so we're counting off of 32 slides, but it's not 32 slides for reading names because the last slide is a thank you slide.
Yeah.
And then the slide before that is,
Let's go through it and then we'll pick up at the end, right? So you're 165, Emily, right?
yeah,
You're 169. Then you're 184. And you're 185. That's 4.
okay.
When we get to the end, if we have names left over, then we'll figure it out.
I think we're not gonna have enough if you're doing 4 slides per person is what I'm saying.
4 times 8,
If
32.
there's 8 people, right, but there's not 32 slides with names.
Oh, if we get stuck, then we'll, well, who's left?
I'm left.
Okay. Let's go, and Lily is left, right? And Brooke.
Yes.
It's Brooke, Lilick, and
Ed.
Edward.
Let's, on good faith, just move on.
Okay.
So who wants to start with 189? Eddie?
Yeah, I'll start with 189, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Eddie Kim is 189? 194? 193? And 200. All right. What do we have left?
I'll take the
Yeah.
next batch.
Brooke,
Brooke. So Brooke is 209. We got the easy one, 214. Right? 219. And 237.
okay, now Lily.
Now
Lilick,
Lilick is left, right? Is that the last 4? Or we're gonna do?
Yes.
Lilick, are you okay with 242?
Yes.
So Lilick is 242. 244, 250, and 379, right?
Okay.
So what do we have left? We have
One,
499.
actually 499. Okay, so then, so since Lilac slides only have like 1 or 2 names on them, she should just fill it out the last 5.
Are you
Yeah, I
okay
can
with
do
that, Liz?
499 is fine.
Okay. And do you see the names up? You're good.
499 is Lilac School, I think.
Hey, Michelle's getting one.
Yeah, she's telling me she was busy.
So Lilac, 499 is your school, right?
Yeah.
So you're good with the names and the pronunciation, so it worked out well, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so then, and then I will close. And we
And
got
just actually, Joe, hearing you guys talk about 130, I'm just gonna make sure that they don't have anyone. PS 130 is located in District 26. So sometimes the reports I get from Central forget that. So I'm just gonna double check tomorrow and
I don't think they do, Louis, because I spoke to her yesterday, but
Oh.
you can, yeah.
I'm just gonna double check. I get nervous with 130.
So
So I'm gonna
if
double
they
check.
do, we'll add that slide in Eddie Kim's bunch, right?
Well, I would like it to be in deep in school order, but number order, but we could do it any order, doesn't it?
So
130 would come after
129.
120, which would be after yours. So it'll be between you and Anne Marie.
are you okay with that, Eddie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so if it's between me and Anne Marie, then we'll figure it out if it comes.
Yeah.
Duke it out. We'll duke it out.
Duke it out. All right, so that's good. So that would handle the reading of the names. Of course, Akila, you're not being excluded. Monica, you're not either. You know, we're going to say on behalf of the CEC and all of us, you know, I'll name you. We congratulate you and we, you know, wish you, you know, success and so on and so forth. Then we're going to read the names of the Big Apple finalists, right? Because the Big Apple Apple Awards.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Start the slideshow, Carly.
So that is going to be after the presentation of the tenure, right? These are, so I'll talk a little bit about what Big Apple Awards are. These are not the actual, these are the finalists, right?
Right.
There's no winner. The winners will be announced in June next month.
The winners will be announced in June, but we just want to announce who the finalists from our district are, right?
Yeah,
So-
Joe, a good thing to mention is that nominations are done, you know, by community members, by their peers.
Yes, I'm gonna
So a
mention
parent
that,
could have
yeah.
nominated one of these people.
So nominations done by community members. I'll tweak that with, before we speak about that. But does anybody want to read the names? I don't want to take over. All right, if nobody wants to read the name, then I'll just introduce them and I'll read their names. Unless somebody else wants it, okay? And then we have one more thing that we do is the Joe Kessler Award, which we have to talk about. And then that'll be done for our meeting of next week. Then we have to talk about, then we have to now duke out all the questions with the town hall, the chancellor, which.
So before we go on to the chancellor list, Joe, we're moving to Zoom webinar for next week's CEC meeting.
Okay.
Because there's 160 teachers that are invited. And I know you worried about hitting the 300 person Zoom limit. So we're going to be using Zoom webinar. Zoom webinar for us is going to be no real difference. It's going to look just like a regular Zoom meeting, except for all of the attendees will be kind of view only. they will not be able to turn their cameras on or unmute themselves unless we specifically say, allow someone to speak. They will never be able to put their cameras on, but we will be able to let individual people speak. I know you were thinking about how it's a public meeting, so there might be some people that want to speak, and that's definitely fine. We can do that. The only thing that's different with the Zoom webinar is that there are different links for the panelists, which will be all you guys, and the attendees. There's different links. So the link that you see on the website now for next week's CEC meeting is for attendees only, people that are going to be coming in to watch, the teachers that are being honored and all that stuff. I'm going to send out tonight to all of you the link to be a panelist, and that's the link that you're going to have to use to join the meeting next week. Don't worry, I'm going to send the email to you again right before the meeting begins, so it'll be at the top of your email. Okay, so don't worry about losing the email I sent you today. I'll send it to you again on Wednesday at 6:30. We can all join early and we can all talk beforehand.
So we
Okay?
all have to remember to join on that link.
Yes, using that email, and it'll say panelist. It's very clear. It says panelist link.
Okay.
Carly
everybody
gave
gets
me
it.
everyone's email address and everyone's name. That's what I need to send out those invites. And is there any special guest speakers or anything next week that we need to invite? I have Danielle, I have Mike, I have Esther, I have Jinmei. Of course,
So I'm usually asked by like Senator Lou, but I don't know.
So we can promote people from the attendees into panelists. We can
They
do that.
usually contact me before that they want to attend. So
And if it happens, all I need is their name and email address,
And I'll
and
call
they can be added as a panelist. Yeah.
Okay.
And now from Face, just Juliana.
And Eloise, right?
Eloise.
What's Juliana's last name?
Fedorov.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Fedorov.
F-E-D. Go ahead.
Fedorov. Fedorov.
Oh.
I can give you her information later on if you need.
I'm gonna look her up. Let's see.
What about Lamar? Because Lamar wants to speak as
Yeah,
well.
Lamar's
right?
on there. Yep, Lamar. I have Lamar on there. Yeah.
From UFT. I don't know if Joe Kessler shows up. I mean, I know we have a Joe Kessler award, but I don't. If
Well,
anything,
I can invite him. I haven't.
got it.
I can invite Joe. Yeah, but he's not gonna use the right link. So I mean.
All right. He's
Joe. But that's actually a good example of if someone
Joe needs his own link.
if someone joins using the attendee link, we can see the list of all the attendees and we can click on them like we make people co-host. We can click on them and make them panelists right from that. So it's not like it's set in stone. And just so you know why we're using webinar, we can have up to 300 panelists and up to 1,000 attendees. So obviously we're not gonna go near 1,000, but if we do approach 300, it'll be nice. We won't have that limit anymore. So it'll be good.
Louis, you want me to reach out to Joe Kessler and ask him?
No, I can email him. I have him.
All right.
Yeah, it's
I can
fine.
speak to him as well.
So I have Juliana. What is the other Eloise's name?
Eloise Mendez, right?
E. Mendez at school.nyc.gov.
Yep, I got her. They're not here today, right? They're gonna get this email.
They're not here. I'll talk to them later.
It's fine. They're gonna get it. It's fine.
So the only concern I have, because it's a public meeting, we have public speaking time, I'm gonna have to specifically say, look, if you want to be a speaker during our public speaking time, I'll ask that you put your name on the chat, right? So
The chat will work. The chat will still work for everyone. And
on
the
chat,
attendees can also raise their hands.
raise their
Do
hand,
both.
and then they'll have to push them over to panelists, correct?
No, we can actually just let them speak. There's a button that we can click that they can just unmute themselves to talk without making them a panelist.
And who's gonna do that? Carly, you can manage that?
Carly's gonna be able to do it. We'll all be able to do it. It's very, Carly, it's just like when we change people to host and co-host and all of that. It's very easy with the webinar.
All right, so
Yeah.
I will be specific and saying, look, you're not, the only way you'll speak is by raising your hand during the time or putting your name on the list that you want to be a public speaker.
Which is how we have Have it now anyway.
Yeah, well, now they usually interrupt, which is better to have it. this
Now
way.
they can't.
Now they can't, exactly.
They can't. No.
All right, so are we good with all, for that for next week?
Yep.
Right? Louis, so we're good. So we're good with you, Louis. You don't mind?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's it. So after, I'm gonna leave, but I'm gonna quickly send you guys the panelist link. So you'll
Okay.
get that email while you guys are talking. But if you think of anyone else that needs the link, just let me know. I already have Lamar, I have the two-faced people, and I have the district team, and I have the whole CEC.
All right.
Perfect.
Oh, Carlos.
All right.
Louis.
Good
Louis,
night,
thank you very
guys.
much.
Good
All right,
night.
guys, see you later. Have a great night, okay?
Right, thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Louis.
All right,
See you
bye-bye.
Guys,
guys
next
on.
time.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
Esther.
Bye, Louis.
All right, guys. All
I
right,
had to pretend I was leaving because.
So the reason why I wanted Louis to leave, because we do every year since 2019, and we see one of the recipients of the Joe Kessler Award is here, Dr. Michael D'Antona. We award one staff member or a community member who has shown extreme sportsmanship, teamwork, and collaboration, the Joe Kessler Award. So I actually spoke to Joe Kessler, as I usually speak to him, and he had asked who we were presenting, and I said, we really haven't spoken about it. Do you have anybody in mind? And he immediately said, Louis Latito. And I said, my God, I think that's a wonderful idea, but I need to confirm that with the CEC, right? So we definitely have to vote on whether or not Louis receives this award, because it's coming from us. And it's a yearly award that's been enacted before most of the members came on. It was the prior CEC. And it's one award that goes out to one individual in the community. And I think that, you know, I want to put the nomination for Louis Latito. I just will ask if you have anyone else that you want to consider, let us know now, and then we'll vote on it.
Joe, maybe you want to say what the award is for?
So the award is for, I have to go on this because I saved it, but
Here, I got it. I'll read it for you.
I'm gonna go on my, I'm on, right? If I go off the screen. Can you hear me? But you can't see me, right?
We can see you and hear you.
Oh, you can? All right. I can't see myself. Maybe that's why. So I'm gonna read you what the Joe Kessler Award is all about, okay? Just give me a second. So this was voted on in 2019. Was it? Or was it or 2008? Was it all of us?
No, it should be 2018, I thought.
2018, yeah, because I have the CEC members, Kim Montgomery, Amy Sa. Okay. So basically, the Joe Kessler Award honors a very special person who shows complete dedication to the NYC Public Schools, who has demonstrated to the community as a whole a lifelong interest in giving back. And we said we award this to somebody in our community who has demonstrated that, right? And we said to Mr. Kessler, you are the first honoree, and we call this the Joe Kessler Award for Outstanding Sportsmanship, Teamwork, and Collaboration, which from here on in will be presented at our yearly CEC Award meeting to one adult staff or community member who demonstrates extreme sportsmanship, teamwork, and collaboration. We will ask for nominations from you and the community and the CEC along with the district office, and look at input from the community, where we single out one person in commemoration of the Joe Kessler Award. Okay? How do I go back? You guys can still see me or hear me?
We can see you and hear you.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if anyone else has anybody they would like to nominate, but I think, you know, Mr. Latito has demonstrated without a doubt, from like day one of this pandemic, cooperation, and he's helped CEC navigate through all our meetings, right? And he continues to do so. Are you on board? I'm trying to find you guys. I'm lost.
Christine
I
raised her
raised my
hand.
hand a long
I'm
time
on
ago to
board.
vote yes.
I can't see you, Christine.
I'm on board.
You don't need to
I'm
see
on
me. You
board.
can see my
Yeah, I'm
hand
good.
raised.
We're good.
No, I mean, he can't see your hand raised. He can't find Zoom anymore.
I'm lost. Yeah.
Do you want to take a vote?
Yeah. I don't know. Do I have to sign out to come back? I'm like, I can't.
No,
find
Joe, you
it.
just gotta, it's hidden behind one of your other windows. Just minimize the other screen that you have open.
Look at that. Dr. Mike is helping
Dr. Mike.
Joe. I like that.
Dr. Mike always helps.
I know, but usually Dr. Mike needs Lewis too.
No, but
See,
Joe,
just
if
see
you
how
go
much
on
Joe
the
would use.
bottom, if you go on the bottom, you'll see the icon for Zoom. Just click on that and
Just
then
click
you
on
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
You bring us back.
Eddie, you got really
the
big.
camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
guys,
don't.
I'm back.
Eddie,
Sorry.
your eye, always use your eye.
I have no idea what happened. I just also zoomed in.
It's all Joe's fault. What's going on, Joe? You ruined
Oh.
everybody's.
I did that.
No.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't. You didn't do it.
Oh, I did. Okay. So this is something that Lewis would always help
I
us
feel like
with,
I need
right?
a
That's
drink.
what-
Can we get him back on?
What happens when it signs off? It just falls apart.
So can we have a show of hands of who was okay with awarding that to Mr. Latito?
should I go down the names?
Yeah, I don't even know how to raise my hand here.
So,
Reactions at the bottom.
Wait, did Christine had her hand raised though, didn't she?
that's an agreement.
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
was raising my hand to vote.
Oh,
Joe,
okay.
there's on the bottom of the screen, there says, you'll see.
It says
some-
reactions. It's a reactions
I got
button.
the wrong
So
reaction.
is there another one?
One, Joe.
Should I
It's
change?
a raise
Look,
hand
my
one.
thumbs up
The
keeps going
reaction.
away.
That.
I want to go with thumbs up again.
Got it. Okay.
Raise hand will actually stay up until like you take it down.
Christine, she put the.
Where's Christine? I don't see hers.
She has.
changing them as she goes. Look.
She has her hand. Oh,
Oh, she has her hand. Okay.
and then she has like a emoji.
Wow face.
Yep.
So we got
having a
1,
party.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And Eddie, I just still see like your eye.
Eddie, you're too close to the camera. Eddie, go move back.
Oh,
She zoomed
We
in.
will see your
I-
nose.
I have no idea what happened. I really don't. Hold on a
Are
second.
you on your phone, Eddie? Maybe that's it.
No, I'm on the laptop. I just.
Maybe you Zoom?
With Zoom.
Probably pinned yourself.
Oh, unpin yourself. Maybe you did that.
How do you pin yourself? Wait a minute.
You just click on the little 3 dots on top.
No, I just.
Eddie
no.
loves seeing your eyes, Eddie.
There you go.
And now your nose. Now your lip.
Take 20 steps back. Step away from the computer.
All righty. Yeah, all right.
There you go. You're getting
So,
better.
Joe, this is what you feel like all the time? Man.
Yes, it's terrible.
All right.
Okay, so I think we're good with the Louis Latino getting the Joe Kessler Award. So I just need some help from maybe Danielle. You can help me about a little bit of background. I mean, I know what he does for us, but just like give me something for the community, right? Tell me about Louis Latino.
So I will say, like, at the start of the pandemic, Lewis was the one that really helped get everyone online and connected. He's our FSL, our field support liaison. Right. So he's the connection between central offices and all of our schools. He gives, up-to-date information to all of our principals and assistant principals. He's also our liaison with the borough office and works well with, different communities in order to make sure that our schools are supported. I don't know if you want to mention this, but he also works in the community for, what's his cat organization?
Feline
I don't know
thing,
the
yeah.
name of it.
I'll get the name of it, but
Can you
he
get me, yeah, I mean,
he works with community members. What, do you know it, Brooke?
I think it's TNR Utopia.
Yes,
on Facebook.
TNR Utopia, you're right.
Well, what he does is he works with community members and helps, I'm trying to think of a way to say it.
And
Like,
neuters them. That's what the TNR.
yeah, he does catch and release. He helps
And
stray
feed them
animals. He
over.
takes in kittens, and he does all of that in the Whitestone community. Like he
also helps people schedule COVID vaccine appointments.
Oh, that he did that too.
No, but he helped a lot of elderly people.
He helped a lot of
He did do that.
community.
He helped the elderly schedule vaccine appointments for COVID, made sure that they were at sites closest to their home. He was one of those guys that was going on every couple of minutes to make sure that people.
He helped the whole district office with that. too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he got a lot of seniors got involved. I saw he was getting people appointments.
He's good.
he
So,
did.
I guess I'll speak to you about a little bit of a biography for him before we award it to him. And you'll
Yeah,
invite him in.
Carly, and he went to District 25 schools.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He went to 209. Carly, Mike is going to send you a slide for him.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
He's practically the guru for our district when it comes to technology.
He really
And
is.
everybody always comes to him from other districts wanting to learn what he did or does, to.
Yeah, he's very resourceful.
Right.
And I've never, ever seen him complain or roll his eye. He's never, ever.
Never.
He's always willing to help.
He's a very good teacher.
He's a good man.
He's always very patient because I need patience.
So the
When it comes to,
UFT will be doing the certificates for the tenure recipients.
Yes.
We have to do that certificate, Carly. So can you prepare that? You go with that. It's one certificate, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll close with that on next Wednesday, right? And then we have to go to the general business meeting. Did we discuss what we were going to do? How we're going to do that, Danielle? That we were going to start with. What else is on the agenda, Carly?
Just regular little things.
Then we have to deal with the group, the special education group wants to do a presentation, because if we want to change the bylaws, we have to discuss it during 2 meetings.
But it's short, the change, so it shouldn't be that long.
So what I'm thinking, should we do it? We should do it after the award ceremony, correct?
Okay.
So Danielle, do you have a report to the community? Do you want to do that after the award ceremony or before?
I'll do it whenever you guys want.
Just trying to make the flow happen.
Yeah,
right?
well, it won't be very, I'll keep it short, just a couple of brief points. And then that way, if you wanted me to do it before, it's up to you.
All right, so we'll do, because I'll do like the introduction, welcome everybody, do the attendance, whatever, then we'll do the, Danielle will give it the report, and then I'll say we're here because we're celebrating, we welcome you because we're celebrating those receiving tenure. When we're done with all these awards, then we'll just continue. We have to have that meeting during not the business meeting, the calendar meeting, correct? So I'll say before we end the calendar meeting, we have our special needs subcommittee wants to report back to the CEC and the community. And then who's presenting on that? Is that Anne Marie or Akila or Brooke?
Anne Marie has what is it?
Are you prepared for that?
She did the draft for the bylaws.
Oh my God, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're a robot.
You're echoing.
You're a robot. Try to turn your mic off and back on.
So I think what you're saying is you have everything prepared.
Yes.
Sounds like your mic got wet.
She said we all have it, is what she's trying to say.
Okay.
Oh, as far as Brooke and Akila.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to present it to the community, right? So you're going to have to say, look, we as a special needs subcommittee have been talking about X, Y, and Z. We had mentioned about changing the bylaws. We have to introduce exactly what it is that we want to change. I don't know if you want to put it up on the, as a screen, the language, and say that we have to discuss it, and then we have to vote on it at the next meeting.
Okay,
Okay, so she has it for the screen, and we'll keep a summary. Okay, perfect.
okay.
So then, Emery, you're gonna go on with that, and then we'll ask for public comments, and then we'll conclude our calendar meeting. And then we'll have the business meeting, which will probably be about two things: the town hall for the following Tuesday and June's meeting, because those are the last two things we have to talk about, right? Is everybody here?
Joe, you said the town hall and what else for the business meeting?
And the June meeting,
Oh, yes.
right? So part of the June meeting is we're gonna have to vote on that, the special needs introduction, the bylaws, right? And then, I don't know, Rashmi, you had an idea for June. Are you here, Rashmi?
I'm here. Just
So
my
you had
allergies
said
are really bad. I can't
I
open
know,
them.
it's bad season. Allergies and stuff. You had sent an email about what you wanted to do in June.
Yeah, I just didn't want to talk on today's meeting because I thought it was only dedicated to talking about tenure, but I can quickly, if you remember, Joe, a couple meetings back, we kind of brought that topic. Like we used to do the award, and then we all talked about, let's just not do just academics. And we have a lot of money left in our fund. So it will go back to DOE. So my proposal is to use that and just spread it out. And we are giving it to teachers. So why not students? Because they really worked hard this whole pandemic for last 1 year.
So, I mean, I'm all supportive of the students and awarding them. I'm like number one on that, and I have no problem with that. I just don't know if we're, can you manage to do this between now and then? That's, we have the meeting next week. We have the town hall the following week. We have Memorial Day, and then we meet.
So are you giving me that task to see if I can come up to do? So let me start on that. And I think I can do it, but I do need, Carly and I will work on it because we work on it to see exactly what can be done in terms of awards and certificates and what we can and cannot do. But that's something I'm totally dependent upon in terms of policies. And then after that, if you are okay with that, I can take that task on and to see where we go with that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Christine.
So, Rashmi, in your email, you said you wanted to give like an award for most improved, there was like a couple of awards.
Right.
So it was more than one. So I'm just concerned, and this is just me thinking off the top of my head, that because it was not a what's the word I'm looking for? A normal year, that it might be more difficult and it might cause some upsetment between, I'm just trying to think, I just don't know if giving an award in this time when it's, not everybody's in school, not everybody, you hear people complaining that they're not really doing, what they normally would do. I just worry that we would get backlash from the community. That's just my thoughts on it.
So I see.
Go ahead. Who's talking?
No, I see her point. I do see her point, and that's a very valid point. So we can change the word from award to something else, but I just feel that teachers are getting recognition in some form or other. We should recognize these students in the community, whether we can send one certificate with the names plated to individual schools in terms of cost effective. So everybody knows that we acknowledge all of you guys. or something like that. I mean, that was just a brainstorming that I put on the table for all of us.
No, I agree. I mean, I definitely agree with you. The kids should be recognized. But I'm thinking, and I don't know if this is even possible, but something more of, let's recognize all the students. Is
Right,
there
right, that's
something
what I
that we
mean.
could, right, is there something that we could do, like, for, I mean, and I don't even know if this is allowed. I don't even know if, I'm just thinking, this is me just thinking right now, like, can we like buy ice cream for the students or something like that? And, you know, we have, like you said, we have this money. I just think that we should recognize everybody.
So let me just cut in, because this is something we usually prepared for months in advance. Like usually we took it on like January, February.
Right, exactly, right.
I don't think, I mean, I don't, Carly, you answer because you don't more than I do. Are we able with our budget to ask for anything?
No, it's over. I can only do SIPs right now. If the time for purchase orders is over.
What do you mean you could only do 6? What does that mean?
In other words, I can't make purchase orders. I can only like do reimbursements. That's it.
So we really can't do
So
anything.
We can't
No.
buy anything.
Can't
We
buy
spend
anything.
Money.
But wait, Carly, that money is allocated to certain line items, right?
Yes, but it is already, the deadline for using it is over, except for the
Basically
reimbursement.
lost the money, unless,
That's
right,
just
And also, you know, in all fairness, I'm gonna speak up for myself here, sorry. I think it's a little unfair to think that I can pull up an award ceremony 2-3 weeks ahead of time, and I'm still working on town hall. I'm by myself.
No, agreed,
You know,
and
that's something that takes me months to do, and also
Right.
I will always get help from the DOE, from the district office, and have their hands full right now too. So I think it's a little it's a nice idea, but I don't know if I can pull that off. I'll be very honest with you on that one.
Yeah, I think that's why I think I would like to see something where I was hoping we could just do something else and, like, you know, provide, you know, ice cream sandwiches for all the school, like something like that, where we recognize everybody, because I agree. I know how much work goes into the award ceremony. God, you know, between the food and the certificates and setting up, and I get it, Carly. So yeah, I do agree, but I guess basically everything is kind of off the table because we didn't spend the.
I'm thinking not even about spending. I'm thinking about how are we going to notify the schools? Do we have enough time to notify the schools?
So how about this? In the last June meeting, we can just make it a webinar, just the way we were going to do it for next week's meeting, and make it a recognition for students, and not to have 1 or 2 students, but just say that you send a represent, like, for example, IS 237, we are recognizing all of the students, and like just say it out loud that we know that we are recognizing all the students. Make it an online festival without picking and choosing. And
So yeah, so maybe, Rashmi, based off like what you're saying, maybe we could ask the principals to write a little blurb about the students in their school, or maybe a teacher, of how proud they are, and we could kind of just acknowledge, you know, this comes from the principal of PS 24, this
Right.
comes, and acknowledge all the students this way too. It's not anything extra on Carly to do, and we do acknowledge all the students.
yeah,
the
that
problem
sounds like a
again
good idea.
is how are you going to get the principals to respond in less than 2 weeks?
We have
And if we don't get all the schools, it's not fair.
Superintendent Demango can address it in her principal meeting on Friday morning. And I know that the superintendent has a very responsive principals group.
This was part of our June meeting, is that I'm trying to follow.
Anne Marie, we can't hear you.
Can you sign on with a phone?
Put your headset in.
So Rashmi, if you could pull it, by all means, I'll support you. You know, I don't know if we can pull it. That's the question I have. Again, I have no problem awarding students.
Something
Now,
You
who-
guys have something specific that you want me to, for schools to write about?
I think it's just to acknowledge how proud they are of their students during the pandemic. So this way we can say, you know, we along with your principals are acknowledging the hard work that you've put in.
Well,
You
we
know-
can say that.
So can I
Right,
make a
I just
suggestion?
thought it
Can
would,
we do- So can I make a suggestion? So can we do, I don't know why I keep saying my internet's unstable. Can we do something where like you ask, like if you, like, I'm just thinking and I'm just throwing these words out here, like pride, persistence, perseverance, whatever it is. And then we could ask principals to either write something or make video or do something, and then we could ask Lewis to put it together.
yeah, like that idea.
So basically, it's celebrating all the students. We're not
Right.
singling anybody out.
Right, but it doesn't just have to be a principal. It could be anyone in the school community.
exactly,
But
exactly.
I think they should all speak to a theme. This way you don't have like random people saying random things, you know, like the question of like, you know, what character traits or like whatever, like what, you know, like give like certain emotional traits or whatever it is that you want them to speak to.
So why not let's stay with the district theme, something along the line of strong roots, strong foundation.
All right, so
Well,
listen, this is something that we need to discuss at our business meeting next week, right? Which
Okay.
will, so just rush me, you introduced it, see what you want to come up with. And
Okay.
yeah, this is.
So, Danielle, do you want me to give you something of all, like all the points that you just said in an email, or so that for you to ask or talk about this in your principals meeting this Friday? So at least the word is out there.
It's not this Friday, actually, it's next Thursday, so
Okay.
it would be good if, you know, anything that's decided on Wednesday, I can just bring up on Thursday. But I think for you guys to decide, like, and I said, we could do, a principal can make a video, or they could write a poem, or they could do a little like paragraph, and we could take all of that and put it together. But I think it shouldn't just be like, I mean, we could do celebrating students. But if you wanted to do something else, if not, I'll just say, you know, it's under the idea of celebrating our students. Up to you.
Okay, so let's talk about something to think about between
Figure
now
out,
and
like,
next
Tuesday.
Wednesday. Okay, am I interrupting anybody? I'm sorry. I just want to move the meeting along. So Rashmi, think about it, bring it up at our next business meeting.
Sure.
And then if it's possible to happen logistically and time-wise, then we'll decide on Wednesday, right?
Okay, and just to say that out loud, like, I don't want to put, even if it happens exactly what we talked about, I will be in there all 100%. I'm not going to put any extra burden on Carly, because yes, this was a last minute pop-up. And if it's going to go along, so I'll invest my time 100% in that.
Are you able to, do you know how, because I'm computer illiterate, do you know how to put in like something, I don't know what you call it, like a screen, or, you know, the videos on the screen, or
The slide.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because that would be a great idea if you're gonna put this together. If y'all could get all of the principals, give a little something here, a little something there, and throw it into a slide, something that we can take and put on the CEC website just after the fact, so that, you know, somebody missed it and they want to revisit it, they can see it outside of the meeting.
So what Lewis did for us last year is he took, you know, he takes different clips and he can put them together. So if you want to do just like CEC celebrates our students.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Since it's gonna be time consuming, and then the schools might be busy doing graduations and things like that right now to just stop to do anything extra. So if they can get little important things that happen within a year that they want to put together, you know, in the slide for their school, or like Daniel said, a poem or something to acknowledge the students, then a little slide might be a little better, you know, to collaborate, because it's a lot faster than it would be trying to, you know, do something individually and time consuming.
Sounds like a great idea. So basically what we'll talk about is making June a celebratory meeting, celebrating all students. If we can pull, you know, this slide or whatever you want to do, Rashmi, we can put that in. We'll talk about, you know, CEC is our last meeting for this term. So, you know, we'll have, you know, parting remarks from whoever wants to speak.
I mean, if you guys wanted to do something too, that's how we could start it. So each of you could do a,
Right.
you know, say celebration, and you send it to Louis and he'll cut it and put it in there.
It could be a good closure, and then we'll, you know, we'll vote on the change on the bylaws, and we'll leave our mark for the future.
Yeah, that sounds
So-
like a good.
Yeah, let's discuss it at our meeting, but it's gonna be a little tough because of the timing. So let's see if it could happen, right?
I could speak to the principals. Mike and I will work through that with the principals. We can get something together. We can do it. We just would want all of them to be part of it. So we'll do something.
Yeah, we don't want to exclude
Well,
anybody.
yeah, as long as it could be anybody, you know,
Right,
like,
even Danielle, if they have pictures of something that was going on in the school, like if they had, you know, pictures of something, to even like a picture to put in a slideshow.
However, we have 34 schools, so if you're excluding one or two schools, it's not gonna be right. We're gonna be criticized.
right.
So either
No, we wouldn't
all or
exclude, no, yeah, we wouldn't exclude the schools. It's just going to be a very long presentation. So we had to do something with 4 superintendents and it was 17 minutes. So it would have to be very
Yeah,
quick.
there would have to be very, very small little
It
clips.
would have to
and
be like
you can
one
merge them.
page per school. Yeah, exactly. No more than
Well,
15
when we did that something one time, we had like 45 seconds to record a Flipgrid thing,
Mhm.
or it was 30 seconds, and that worked out beautiful.
Yeah, but this is 34 schools.
Right, but we had a lot more than 34 in that
5
Flipgrid.
seconds times 34 schools. Right.
You know, I don't know.
Let's talk about it Wednesday. I want to move, it's 8:15 and we got to talk about our town hall. Right? So Rashmi, Christine, let's talk about it. If anybody on the CEC, Akila has ideas, we'll talk about it at our business meeting next Wednesday,
Sure.
which is perfect. Okay, now we have to talk about this town hall because that's really where we're going to get a lot of people coming. Carly, so I think the questions are still rolling in. Every day, things change. We had an announcement, 2 days ago about the school calendar, and I already got a bunch of emails and concerns about what was announced, right? So this is something that keeps changing. So can we figure out how we're going to do this town hall, and then we'll break down the questions? Okay, so I think, did we say that every one of us is going to ask a question to the Chancellor? Show of hands. Lilik is, I am. Rashmi is. Eddie is. Anne Marie, okay, Christine, so Monica, are you interested in asking a question to the Chancellor?
I don't have a problem.
You have no problem?
I have a question if you want me to.
Yeah.
What question are we asking?
So well, look, we're all representatives of the community. So a couple of things. We've been asking the community for certain questions. I don't want to exclude any CEC member of asking something that they feel is important to ask the Chancellor, because we are representatives of our constituents. So if Monica, Eddie, me, Akila, someone has something they want to bring up to the Chancellor, that I'm going to give you priority to bring it up as a representative during our town hall. After we do that, then I would go to the questions from the community in all fairness, right? So I think, but we should all be on the same page in terms of what I don't want to have a town hall where we're like arguing with each other, that, you know, if I ask a certain question and, you know, Christine's against it, and, you know, I don't want to have like an argument during a town hall. So if everybody wants to ask a question, we can talk about that first, and then we'll go to the community questions. Right?
Okay. Sure.
Are we good?
Mm-hmm.
So again, you know, since I'm like starting, I don't want to start with the question. I'll probably be the last to ask the question, because I will do the introduction to the chancellor, who we are, what our community is about, welcoming her, introducing the CEC members. And then at that point, I would want CEC members to make their question, right? So, I mean, I'm going to
Do we, Joe, do we need to submit the question in advance or to the
So, I
chancellor?
mean, I think we should all be on the same page. At least we're
Well,
not. like,
didn't they
duplicating.
say, I'm sorry, Joe, not to interrupt you. I thought that Faith said they wanted the questions
They
up front so
prefer
that
the
the chancellor
questions.
could have the answers.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'll tell you, so the chancellor will have myself and the executive superintendent and other people there based on your questions. So there, if a random question comes up that people don't have an answer to, it may not be able to be answered that night. That's the only reason why they say, if, you know, so for example, if a question is around report cards, right? They'll have somebody from Central Academic Policy on. If a question is around summer school, they'll have somebody who's running summer school there. But if they don't know the questions, they won't have the appropriate people there. That's the reason why they ask for that.
So is
I
it like,
think we should
I'm sorry,
all
I'm
have
sorry,
our
I have a
questions
question.
prepared. Go ahead, Monica.
If they have a question regarding if they were gonna have remote for September again, are they gonna be able to answer that question?
I don't know. I mean, that could be a question that the chancellor in advance would have more information. I mean, you know, from our town halls that there have been times that we've gotten information that hasn't even been released yet. And one of the reasons that happens is that for anybody that comes to speak to the CEC, Joe and I usually submit questions in advance, right? So they come prepared with answers that have already been vetted. We can release them to the public. So if that's a question, Monica, we would say this, one of the questions the CEC is going to ask about is school opening in September, right? So the chancellor will be briefed on answering that question. See, but if you come up with a random question out of nowhere, and there may be somebody there that can answer, but there may not be. So that's why they just want to accommodate the CEC and get as many questions answered as they can, and have the people there that can, you know, follow through with explanations.
So I figure that if so we're 9 members, how many we are, and we all talk about, we don't have to do it tonight. I mean, we should have our questions prepared before the meeting, but you know, we'll get our questions done, and then we'll go through the questions of the community, and then we'll submit it to the chancellor. At least we know what is being asked, right? So look, I'm going to throw in what I want to say so you understand what I'm talking about. I may not have the question line, the exact language lined up, but my question right now would be on the change on the Italian American Heritage Day, right? So there were certain changes that was hot in the news. Some parents in the community are upset about the change. They're putting the indigenous, group in there. So I just have questions to the chancellor. What's the process on scheduling or, making certain holidays? Who's notified? Aren't we as a CEC supposed to be notified about certain changes? Shouldn't there be hearings? Shouldn't the community be noticed about it before you make the decisions? And then who's making that decision? So that's one type of question that I personally would want to ask. So that's what I'm throwing out to you guys. So like Monica or Victor, if you have a question, just tell us what the topic is at least, so we know what's there, and then we can all be in agreement and not have all the same questions, right?
All right. I'll submit a new question because I feel like the question I originally submitted, everything's changing. Like you said, every day it changes. So I'll submit a new question.
Can I just, Joe, can I make a suggestion right now? I know that Victor submitted a question and Christine submitted a question. Can I bold those now? Because those are CEC member questions that we're definitely going to go in.
Yes.
So let
Yes.
me just go to those. So I think this one, number 40, wait, number 40 is that Victor?
I can't, it's so small, I can't read that. Is that?
Okay.
Who's
Yeah, that's
safety?
Victor's. That's Victor's.
Oh, okay, all right.
Other states or counties have school buses for K through 12 students with the escalated violence of various communities. We should review our school bus contracts to include students from 9 through 12. Is that you, Victor?
Yeah, that's mine, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna bold that one as one that stays in.
Correct.
And then
Thank you.
Christine had, I'm trying to make the screen bigger.
Where it says 100, Anne-Marie. See where the on the top? The view?
Where it says 100.
Yeah, underneath where it says view.
I don't even see where it says view.
It's talking about the screen percentage on the top in your toolbar.
Yeah, on your, there. Zoom in. You
So
can-
Christine's question, you're so smart. Is that better?
A little bit.
No, it's much better. We can see it
Okay.
much better, yeah.
Okay. So we got Victor's question already bolded, right? So Victor, you're good with that question, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Who else
right,
had
so
a
now
question, Christine?
Christine had a question, I just can't find it.
It's in there because I submitted it. I submitted hers and Victor's in the
Yeah.
as a question in the on the
I think
website.
Monica's gonna.
Oh, this
give
is
us-
Christine's. This past year, we have learned a lot about our students and our school system, some good and some bad. What plans protocol has the DOE put in place for future in case we ever have a situation? Is that correct, Christine? That's you?
Yes,
Christina, you
that's
here?
me. Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
All right,
Yes,
so that's
me.
good. And then Rashmi wanted the one about the AIDS question to stay in, right?
So Rashmi,
going-
do you have your own question that you want to ask, or is that the question you want to ask?
No, I don't think the AIDS was mine, but I have a question that has been in my mind because discussion with few parents. And again, this question may have come, and if it did, I don't know about it. So you know how our New York City school started a month late, and every school academic year has X number of school days that you have to have it. So my question on that term is, and again, it's just from my thoughts, why are the students not getting, you know how we used to get like 10 field trip days that they're out of school? Why are the students not getting, if not the same number of trip days, but half of it? Just because the city started the school late, these students are not getting any break from academics. They are continuously either going to school or in front of computer. Has this question in a different format come? Like, why is the school not saying, okay, this day is a field trip day? That means you don't have to log in, not to have asynchronous studying, but just don't log in or don't go to school. This is your family day. Because with all these suicides and stuff that is happening with students, how come has this topic surfaced in any of the discussion? If you guys are any of the bigger parent discussion, like why is the city not looking into it? Like New York, like DOE.
Danielle is raising her hand. I'm just saying, Rashmi, that would be the question that you would want to present to the chancellor, correct?
So
Are you asking us a question?
Yeah, I was confused.
I can answer that.
Okay. Rashmi, are you there? Did she get this?
I'm here. I have a family crisis, so I have to mute myself. Okay.
So I was just asking, is that a question you wanted to ask? Are you asking us now, or is something that you wanted to ask the chancellor? Danielle, I know you have an answer, right? I just don't know if that's something.
I mean, she can't, I think just so we all know is like field trips in general were not permitted during the pandemic because they didn't want students traveling to different spaces that were not where we couldn't control the cleaning conditions and the health conditions. So I do know that walking field trips are going to be part of Summer Rising. Now, in terms of,
I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean to say actual field trips where kids are going to school. I'm saying in terms of similar to a field trip, why not kids are getting a break from studying? So they're just like studying, okay, be home or do something, like not an actual
saying remote, you're saying remote. I mean, I
remote or in person, yeah, like off from studying, off from books, like getting that mental breakout.
Right.
I think if I can add to Rashmi, Danielle, before you speak, because there was a question that someone submitted regarding the snow days, and I think that all lumps in together. Those extra days that the kids got out of school, that break time, that, oh, there's 12 inches of snow, so we can't drive you to school, the city's closed. We're not getting snow days anymore. We're not getting the field trip days. So the kids are expected to just be on school time. There's no like little mental health days, basically.
Right.
I think it's trying to say.
Right. Yeah.
So this really has come up at the school level in terms of some of the parent chats that we've had. I will say to you formally, one of the things that she would explain to you guys is that we have state required hours that students have to be in school learning academically. I think it's a really good idea of what Rashmi is saying is to create an opportunity such as, let's just say, a virtual field trip where you're exploring something and not necessarily staring at your computer screen, right? So, if you would go on a field trip, and we know that any kind of field trip has to be connected to academics, in general, museum or whatever that is, So I think that's a really good idea that I'm actually going to bring up to principals too, to start speaking at the school-based level, because there's nothing that says that can't happen. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing out there that says we can't do these field trips as long as we're connecting them to learning, where you close your computer screen and we're going to have you, we don't even want you to do a virtual field trip where you're going to be on a computer screen, but we're going to have you explore something like, depending upon what schools say, right? Because, let's just say a school agrees or a class agrees or a grade agrees to do like an outdoor adventure or something like that with parents. We have to make sure every child can go, So that's where we say it's a great idea that we should talk about at each individual school level to see what can happen. Some schools are right by a park, others are not, so like, how can we encourage each individual school to engage in something like that, where students aren't only doing academics when they're in school and only on the computer for learning? So I do think it's a great idea. I don't know if that's something that I would ask the chancellor, because there's nothing that says that's not allowed. You see what I'm saying? And she'll say that.
She'll say that?
She'll say, like, of course schools can do that. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea also. Like, how can we create learning opportunities that are not solely screen-based for our remote kids and solely classroom-based for our in-school kids? I think it's a great idea. But that's up to you.
So is that a comment that you want to make, Rashmi, or like something like a statement you want to make to the chancellor? Like, or is it a question? Like, what is it that you're looking for?
That's a good point. Let me just put my thoughts together and then I will just email it to you. It would probably be more in terms of comments than from what Danielle is saying, just to get that out to her ears. Like, look, it may be like what Danielle said, it may be a state policy, it may be a requirement, but in uncharted waters like this, you guys have to think out of the box and create something. So this is all for our kids and our children. So you cannot stick on black and white policy that has been implemented 5 years or 2 years ago. You guys have to think about something that can help the current situation. So I can put a nice blob or comment.
Yeah,
So you may
Rashmi,
want to
can
comment.
I just, because I think what would be a good comment would be to ask for some central ideas for schools to do. What I think is really important for you to understand is what you're talking about is state and federal, right? So we have to do, we can't change state guidelines unless the state says we can. So hours of that children have to spend in school is not created by the DOE, but to say things like, I know we can, not everything has to be screen facing and not everything has to be in the classroom during this time. So can the city create allowable recommendations for schools that parents can ask about? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's like what's allowable, because you're not saying to not call it school. You're just saying like there were a lot of fun activities that kids experienced as part of their learning experience that now aren't there because of the pandemic. So, we don't only we want kids to learn, but we don't only want them to learn in the ways that they've been forced to learn. So what are some allowable activities that she can give to schools?
Right.
That's what, like what's permissible as a parent to say, like, I know you don't have to do this way, you could do it this way, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I told you, Danielle, sometimes you just say exactly what I want to say. I'm going to start quoting you on a lot of my stuff.
So Rashmi, prepare your question. I think what you're saying is you're gonna make your statement, you're gonna ask the chancellor if she's supportive of it and what the city or the DOE can do about it, correct, Danielle?
Yeah, so Anne-Marie, I think what goes in there is, can she work to create some resources that represent opportunities for kids to not have to only be staring at a screen or sitting in a classroom in order to learn, such as learning that happened through activities such as field trips.
So Anne-Marie, just put Rashmi's name next to that, and then Rashmi, you'll tweak your question, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with Christine, Victor, and myself, because, don't take me verbatim for what I said, because I need to tweak it, right? Got it, okay. So we got Victor, Christine, Joe, Rashmi.
Yeah.
I'm going to submit a question also.
Monica, right? Yeah. Do you know what the topic of your question is, or are you still thinking about it?
I think I'm more gearing to like social emotional remote, if it's in September, if they're going to still continue the remote learning for kids who are having, issues in going back to school, in that area.
Okay. Can you formulate your question between now and next week?
Yeah, definitely. I'll send it this week. I'll send it tomorrow, probably.
Okay.
Monica, can I just say one thing? That is the number one parent question that comes to the district office. And it has been the number one topic during every parent chat.
So do they have an answer already?
What are the answers?
No. That's a parent. I'm saying that's a parent concern. That's a parent concern in the district about social emotional in general, but also returning students.
Yeah, because I think
what opportunities are there for them. That's the number one parent question that we hear.
Yeah, and are we allowed only one question or two?
Well, I want everyone to have the opportunity to ask their one question.
Okay.
And then if we have time, we can go for the other question. So I would ask you, pick your favorite or pick your more important one.
All right. Okay. I won't be greedy. Okay.
But if you really want to get that question out and you want to give it to someone else who doesn't have it, you can do it that way. But
all right, perfect.
Let's give everybody a chance, the 9 of us, or how many are we, 10? To, say what we want to say, and then we'll move on to the next level.
Okay, not a problem.
So, Monica, just hold your thought until we go through this.
Not a problem.
And
I don't think we have that many questions, so I think we're going to be able to get through.
So can I just ask Victor one question?
Go ahead.
So Victor, your question is about high school. Would you mind also adding middle school to that? Because middle school also gets busing through Metro cards and not necessarily through buses.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's fine. Because I thought middle school already had busing capability already.
Some of our middle schools do, but many of our students take Metro card. They get a Metro card.
Yeah, specifically sixth grade, Danielle, and then
Yeah.
seventh and eighth grade.
Yeah.
Just the first, just.
Change from 9 to 12. You can put down maybe 6 to 12.
Or 7 to
7 to 12.
Yeah.
You can put that on. Just
Yeah,
change
that-
the wording. Yeah, that's
thank you.
perfect.
So one thing that the chancellor may not know, knowing our district, we're not like the rest of the city. We don't have access to many, bus routes or subways. So, that's a really important topic, Victor. So, I mean, Danielle, I know that we've talked about it also, right, with the schools here. So can we somehow tweak that with Victor's question?
Victor, also, if you wanted to think about this, we have middle school choice. So if we have choice, maybe we should do busing. So I know there are a lot of students who want to go to schools across the district. So a lot of students on, for example, Bell Academy is on one side of the district. In order for students in certain areas of our district to attend Bell Academy, they have to take 2 or 3 buses to get there. It takes a long time.
Right.
Same thing about 379. If a student wants to go to 379 from, let's just say 169, it's tough to get there. So I think this is a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thought process exactly that line is when I was selecting high school, I was thinking about commuting for my daughter, and it becomes very limited choices when you have to narrow down how you're going to get to school every single day without spending an hour and a half commuting. And that was the premise of the busing. If school bus were provided, it would just be simpler. And
Or if
my
we had
thing
more options.
also thinking about the assignments through the Nixer account, where right now we have the ability to actually know what parent, what student are going in, and they can fill out if they want a school bus or not as an option through that particular mode. That's what I was thinking of.
Maybe I could.
But it's applicable to middle schools as well.
It is.
Correct.
Middle schools. It's a good question because, and what you said, Victor, because we're middle school choice, similar to high school choice, right?
Right.
It's that we could be limiting because of what Joe said. We don't have the same access to transportation as other boroughs do. And there are certain parts of our district where it's very hard to go to, like College Point. It's very hard to come in and out of College Point in inclement weather. So.
There was another question, I think, Frankie Caniglio had submitted about not having enough high schools in our district as well, which goes along with not being able to get to the schools that we do have are not accessible, easily accessible. So they tie in together, right?
So maybe we can tie it in there. We'll have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two things kind of
let's get
link.
through the C questions. Yeah, it might link, and then you can take it from that, and we could probably add on. Victor, Christine, Joe, Rashmi, Monica. Who else?
Are there any questions about this specialized school testing?
There are several.
Okay.
Is that something that you want to bring up, Eddie, to the chancellor?
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. Can we?
So are you referring to the gifted and talented?
For like the
specialized entry, the high school.
Yeah. Right.
Exam.
Yeah. So so they're looking to continue to get rid of that exam. Is that what I'm hearing, or?
Yeah, the CSHAT. They want to get rid of the CSHAT, the SHSAT.
So that's not in here. So what they have in here is the gifted and talented. That was not actually brought up this round.
Okay.
I don't know if we heard any more about that since the last Danielle, that was like, what, 2 years ago? And then it kind of just
All
like,
right, so Christine, it's a very hot topic in District, well,
I know.
District 24, right? So
Right.
there are planned protests.
But is it still on the table? That's
Yes,
what I'm asking.
it's-
Oh, because I haven't heard anything more about it.
I got something yesterday on it.
Okay, so are we putting a question in for you, Eddie, that you want to?
Do you want to take that on?
I mean, it's like, what is the real reason of getting rid of the exam?
So do we know what this chancellor's, has she publicly made a statement as to what her position is regarding the SHSAT, Danielle?
Yes, she has.
And she said that she's for the exam, but she's kind of like what Carranza wanted, right? Or am I mistaken in thinking that?
I don't know necessarily for the exam, but it's more around,
The
are
admission.
there other alternatives that we can consider for admissions to these schools? So Eddie asks a good question to ask her to really state her.
Yeah, I mean, like the only reason because I don't have a problem with getting rid of the exam, but then the next statement that always seems to follow that is there's too many Asians in Stuyvesant and all these specialized high schools, and I'm like, okay, so are they trying to? I don't know. Are they saying that that we're too hard, or we just
Eddie, we're in the same boat. It's
I don't know.
question is very sensitive.
No,
Hey, I'm an Asian too. Okay, put me there too.
Right. And no, but then I can understand if they're saying certain things about, but they're the second phase that always seems to follow that. Getting rid of the exam is not enough not enough of these group of people are in these high schools or whatever. Too many of these people in these high schools, and
Right, they always say that it's not diversified.
Right,
but it's not the exam problem though.
That's bad. I mean, that's what it's all about.
But it's not.
Isn't that this time when the exam got over? Again, we would not know as a parent and a general public, but the reason was something about the company which prints the paper not to have a sole right to print the exam paper.
That's gifted and talented in the kindergarten.
That was gifted and talented.
That's gifted and talented. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Yes, so right. So
the SHST was more because of they said there wasn't enough diversity in the schools.
But
that's
the
what
exam.
I
Go ahead, Christine.
I get it. No, I get it. Look, I get it. But that was where they came from. That's why they said they wanted to get rid of the SHSAT.
They are specialized
3
high
years
school for
ago.
a reason. But they specialize for a reason.
I know. Look, my son took the test, so I get it.
Eddie, you know what? I think it's okay to make a statement for the community like that if you choose to. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a question. It could just be a statement. You bring up a good point. You could say, like, why does that always have to follow the conversation? And like you said, I'm not about getting rid of the test or looking at other alternatives, but I do ask that as the chancellor, you consider the impact of those statements that are sometimes made, not that you make it, but other people have. And as the person in charge of the system, can you manage that? You bring up a good point, and it supports the community you serve.
Right.
It's a good point, Eddie. I like it.
Topic in our community. Trust me, it's not. It's still there. Didn't go away.
That's your statement.
Bring it home. Put it on there.
You could ask her to respond, or like, can you talk to us about your position? But before you do, I would like to make a statement on behalf of the community. That's
correct. Eddie, can you
Thank
bring
you,
that
Eddie.
on? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm totally okay with that.
Okay.
And be thankful that we're not in person for that meeting.
That's
a good topic.
We won't have to have the protesters standing in the back, which we've had before.
Yeah.
They could be in our webinar though.
Trust me, they're going to be at our town hall. Don't think that they're not. But the thing is, they're not going to be able to comment. Oh, I don't know. Are they going to be able to comment?
Not.
Remember,
oh,
she said they wouldn't be panelists. Only we would be
Only we could
panelists.
be. So we definitely need to make that statement because there's a big community concern on that topic. So I think that's a good topic to at least bring on and discuss. Can't ignore it. So Eddie, you'll just, you'll tweak your question or your comment. And
Yeah,
comments.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's left? We got Anne Marie, Lilik, and Akila, right? Does anyone have any question on behalf of the community you represent or things that you want to bring to the table before we get to the public parts? And Brooke, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I don't want to exclude anybody.
But I don't have a specific question. Like, I'll read a public.
Okay. That's fine. Lilik, did you say that you wanted to ask a question? Did you have any questions or concerns that you personally wanted to make?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anne Marie?
I would like to ask a COVID-related question. And
Okay.
it is something that I've heard from a lot of parents recently, since they've been lowering the age of the vaccination. I've had several parents, and even myself, am curious if they're going to make that a requirement, the vaccination a requirement for school attendance, like they do the other vaccines. So that would be something along those lines, and also how long they're going to continue testing in the school. And I did see a couple of other people had submitted questions along those lines as well.
Okay, so why don't you put your name, you're doing this, right, with the question,
Yeah.
comment, so we can, at least you can, get that in. And you can, of course, anyone who has these topics, if they want to look at the other questions and tie it into their question, it just makes it a little bit easier, right? So you're around the vaccination, the testing
Yeah.
requirements for COVID.
Right.
You okay with that?
Mhm.
Akila, are you here?
Yes,
Hi, Akila.
I'm here.
Is there anything that you want to ask the chancellor?
Not at this moment, no. I don't have anything.
Okay.
But most of the questions that are here are kind of like similar to what I have to ask anyway, so.
I just want you to have the opportunity to make your statement before we go to the public. That's why.
No, I understand. If I think of anything by the time we get off, I'll definitely.
Then you let us know.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's-
Okay. Brooke, you told me that you're okay. Lilik, you told me you're okay. Did I exclude anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, right? So we have 7 CEC questions from CEC members that are going to say something, ask a question. Correct, Anne Marie? You have that on your thing here?
Yes, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
So now we can figure out the order. Like I said, I could probably go last because I don't want to take over. Do we talk later on about who asked what question first? Do we want to do that now? Guys?
Why don't we get all the questions that we're going to ask and then trying to see the order we could maybe get a better
Because I want
flow.
to have the CEC to do the first 7 questions are from CEC. So these are the first 7
Oh, okay.
questions. So that's why I say, I don't know what order we should put it in.
Let's
I
go
don't
by
care.
last name, alphabetized by last name.
Okay.
I mean, that's just a suggestion.
It's 6 questions. We have 6, not 7.
No, I didn't get my question. I get my topic. I got Joe,
Right.
Rashmi.
Monica, Eddie, Anne Marie, and Victor.
What about
Oh,
Christine?
Christine, where'd Christine go?
I'm always forgotten.
Where,
Christine, you go first.
where
At
is,
that point, you're going first.
that's right, I
Christine.
was in the middle of looking for her, this was it, I didn't put your name in.
Actually, alphabetically, you do go first.
That's fine. That's actually a good question to open with, I think. I
Okay.
mean, personally, because it's stating, you know, like where we're headed from here, you know?
Okay. So we're gonna, are you guys okay with doing alphabetically? I don't care. You guys good?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So Anne Marie, since you're taking over, you don't mind, right? You just put it in alphabetical order when we tweak the questions, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with C, then, you know, I guess I go next, and then whoever's next with that.
Well,
Okay.
wouldn't Anne Marie come first?
We're doing last name.
Oh, last
Right.
name's, oh, okay,
Is
then.
it last name?
Then it's okay, that's all right.
If you want to go first, you can go first.
No, I really don't want to go first.
I don't care. You're gonna get your question in there anyways. 'Cause
Going
it's the
first is
set of
scary.
questions. So I thought it was alphabetically by last name.
Okay.
I have no problem with going
All right,
first.
so then I'll put the questions in. Good thing you
Okay.
clarified that for me, so I'll order it that way.
Now we go to the questions on the community questions, right?
Yes.
How many more
So I'll
questions
start
we
from the
have?
top. So the first two questions fall into academic grading policy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's still a pretty hot topic. But I don't know how the rest of you feel about that.
I don't think, I want to just be clear, I don't think there's a no failing policy. And actually right now we're getting to that space where if students didn't complete work, especially in middle and high schools, they received what was called an NX.
Right.
But that was, they have to finish that. If not, it does convert to a failure.
Actually, I think those for high school, I think those have to be in those NX have to be like now they have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've been following Angelo around.
What about elementary school? It's not the same, right?
Yeah, I don't, I wouldn't say there's a no fail policy. I've never heard that.
So what is are we asking what the policy is? Is it changing
I
this
think
year?
people are getting confused with the when they said that no kid would be left back
Last year.
last year,
Yeah.
right? So I think that that's still stuck in everybody's brain that nobody's going to get left back, and because of the NX and those grades, they're thinking it's no failing, which is not the case.
Right.
So why not ask the chancellor the question of what the policy is,
To clarify, ex-chancellor to clarify grading policy?
right? Is that something the chancellor was going to answer? Yes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're
So
saying,
let's-
yeah.
Okay, so let's put a check mark next to this. We'll have to tweak that. I just want to go through the questions that we're going to use and those that we're not, so we can just eliminate the useless questions, right?
Yep.
And then we'll see who wants to ask it. So,
The second one, I don't think that one, well, at the time, the graduating high school acceptances, or I don't think it plays part in this year because kids will already have gotten their high school acceptance. Right?
Okay,
I
so-
mean,
you're saying this is a mood issue?
well, it's saying that the grading policy for graduating high school students and the grades will be considered for them to get into school, you know, for their high school acceptances, but I think it's like already too late. I mean, we're in May. This would have been different if we had her when she was supposed to come in, you know, January or February. I don't know. I mean,
But it
that's
could
my thought.
It could relate to the following year, next year. right? The 7th graders going into 8th grade, applying to high schools in September, October. When do they?
But
apply
it's
to high schools?
specifically saying graduating high school kids.
Oh, I see. Oh, high school graduation. I see that. I don't, I don't think this should be on the top, but what do you guys think? And it might be a mood issue. You're right.
Well, I think when we formulate that question, could we add in there what is the grading policy and how the GPA is affected in the new way they're doing things? I don't know. Is there a way to merge it into?
Yeah, maybe put the two of them, see if we can word them together somehow.
Okay. So are those the only 2 academic policy questions?
Those are the only 2.
Okay, so that could be one question. We'll have
Right,
to
make
go
that
back.
one question. So now we're on to budget.
Did you call me? Somebody called me?
No, I said budget.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Budget.
Once
Okay.
they heard budget, we're talking about the questions from the public, right? So,
Yeah, no, I know, but I thought something happened because in the right minute my kids were fighting, so I had to go.
You don't have to worry about budgets because all schools are going to be funded 100% next year. For the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody's getting extra money because we got stimulus money.
Yep.
Are they really getting it?
We're really rich.
Are we going to see it? I don't think so. But
The schools are going to have a hard time spending it.
Is there a budget question?
So then there's not going to be a budget question.
There really is no budget question, I don't think, right? So I'm going to hide those.
Hide those right now.
No money questions.
No money.
Or you can tell the parents that they can go on Galaxy and check out budget of individual school if they are very curious about
Can
it.
I hide them?
True.
Okay, so COVID-19, we already got that. We'll wrap that all into one.
So you can try to put that into your question, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, because it's mostly all kind of the same thing.
Okay, so don't check that off right now. Enrollment admissions, right?
Yeah, there were several that relate to gifted and talented program. Oh, and the zone, getting rid of zone schools. Is that still something we wanted to keep in? We were keeping that in last time.
I don't know if that's something that's particular for our chancellor. Isn't that for the district? The first question.
I don't know what zone schools they're talking about. We in middle and elementary school, we have zone schools except for the few that are application, but we all have zone schools.
So it doesn't apply to us.
No, I think, yeah. I don't think that, I think they were talking more about high schools.
So this is a question that is a good question, no?
I like that question a lot.
Oh, shoot, sorry. What did I just do?
You made it bigger.
Sorry.
Okay,
So instead of taking away the G and T, that question?
yeah.
Okay, so I'll bold it.
13, so hold that question. What about number 13? Is that still? Didn't they already decide
I
that,
think they
Danielle?
answered that. I think Danielle answered that last time or something. You're muted.
No, I'm sorry, that's out. That's based on parent interest.
Right.
Okay.
They have to notify their elementary schools if they're
Okay.
interested in G&T.
Right. Virtual platform.
So equity and access, this is a hot topic, right?
Which are you looking at 14?
Yes.
Do you want to keep that one in?
I think we need to, right?
I'm not sure if all of that applies now.
Well, whatever applies, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't, we'd have to look at that one. There should be a question definitely about the regression and what they're planning to do to make up services and that stuff, but
yeah, I think we should keep that. We're gonna have to work on the question, but I think that topic needs to stay, and I don't want to
Yeah.
remove all the questions, right? Because
right.
I'd rather have more than less, right?
Yes, that's the plan.
So let's leave 14 right now. Number 15. I think that's tied to what Christine wanted to ask, right? How many questions we got? We got 40? Wait, that's the 40, 80.
Yeah, Joe, that question kind of goes in why, what's the plans for the future?
With remote instruction, yeah. So that's going to be tied into Christine's question. Can you go back? Can you put that in Christine's paragraph? Can you cut and paste, Emery?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I was talking all this time.
Can
So
you
Monica,
put-
if you look at number 90, Monica was asking the same thing. So are you Monica and Christine asking two separate things? Because Christine has a lot in her paragraph. So what part? Christine was asking about a parent advisory group that had one thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
Monica's question would be the remote learning part.
So put that more with Monica's,
With
because
Monica.
Monica's.
So just,
Yeah.
if you can cut and paste it in Monica's section,
Yes,
and
I'll do
Monica's
that.
gonna still tweak her question and she may have something else, so
Right, so I'm gonna write for now, I'm gonna put
put that in the section.
Monica right here.
Okay. So 16 is a valid question. But it can be tied in with number 12. Two questions up.
Yes, yes.
Can you put that up there?
I'm gonna put G and T as a note, and then I'll merge them later and send out a revised list with everything that's,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
And then facilities. We need more specialized high schools in Queens, and we have to improve the existing schools. So that's just a statement, right?
Right.
That kind of goes in line with the question my son submitted, though.
So
That's, we'll keep his question and get rid of the statement because it's the same thing.
well, yeah, is this question later down? Is it?
Yeah, it's coming up,
Okay,
coming up.
all right. So then just put it, hold it right now.
Oh my gosh, I don't have a mouse, so forgive me. I'm trying to do this with a little touchpad and it's not working very well. Okay. All right, so then we came to Christine's.
Okay, keep going.
Hey team, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I will have to log off now. I have a family engagement at 9 o'clock.
Okay, Rashmi, so we will get back to you about, what questions you want to ask. Before you leave, you wanted to ask any other did you have a specific question of these questions that you wanted to ask?
I will just ask whatever, you guys can.
We can do it next week also. We're just working on the questions.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
guys go ahead and whatever question nobody else picks, I can just go back on this
Okay.
Google link and just start to put my
Okay.
name across it if that's fine with me.
All right, so it is kind of late. Thanks, Rashmi.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Have a good night. How many more questions we have? We have a lot more questions?
There
Emily?
are, you know what, they're kind of similar, so we can just get right through this. So this is G and T. We're gonna make one question with that.
Mhm.
Ah.
This is the
The HIV/AIDS question, that was one that's what I was asking Rashmi about earlier. That was one that she was wanting to keep in. Christine had made a statement that she liked, but Christine doesn't remember exactly what she said. So But this was something that I'd have to look back in the emails. This was something that they wanted in the first
Okay, so-
round.
So leave it there right now, right?
Didn't Neil touch on that one the last time? I believe we were at a meeting and she said that the
Well, they
curriculum.
sent us the curriculum. Lewis had sent us the curriculum. I mean, I don't remember what my statement was, but I think that, again, this is more along the lines of where it's age appropriate. And I think that people are misunderstanding. It's not like they're going in and they're saying, so I don't remember what I said, but that's what I would think that my statement would have been.
So do we want to take this out?
Remember that,
Since it was provided what the curriculum was and it was.
It's on par with grade level curriculum.
Okay, so then take it out?
Crazy.
I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't affect me. I mean.
Okay,
you guys
I
okay
think,
taking it
okay.
out?
Yeah, okay, the special, that is a question I have heard from people that this, and
Yeah.
it repeats in here a couple of times
I
of
would
what they're
keep
doing
that
to make up
question in.
services.
Yes, keep that in. The GNT.
This is GNT again.
The GNT. 24 is it's a question that a lot of parents ask.
Yep.
About male
Yeah, but
control.
she's not going to answer. She's not going to
not gonna
answer
Can't
that.
answer that.
Not when it's a mayoral election right now. She
Yeah.
ain't answering that.
And
So
she
we're
was
gonna
told by
just,
the mayor. I mean, we can,
We should hide that.
well, we should ask it in a more subtle way, but you're not going to get an answer from her.
Yeah,
We
I
have
think,
no control over that.
I don't even think
Yeah.
that we should ask
waste,
that
yeah, why waste
question.
our time with her?
Yeah.
on
That's
something
not,
gonna
it's
get-
just going to set a bad tone.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about what do you do to create and expand arts
Yes,
and
I
music in
like
the
that
school? That's a
question.
good one. Okay, then I didn't really understand this one. What advice can you give CETs to increase parental involvement? I think we do.
So this is
What is that exactly?
the concern that I had, and that's why, hold on one second. My daughter's passing by. Okay. Are you finished, Olivia? Okay. So my kids don't want to be on screen. This is part of the question that I wanted to ask about. You changed the school calendar, you did certain things, but you say that, your predecessors say parent involvement, parent empowerment. So, what's the process? I mean, I could tie that
Joe,
into
that's my
question.
question. But if you read my question, that says
That's
the same
Christine's
thing.
questions also. Yeah. So, I mean, it goes to different categories.
It's
So-
all, it's across the board. They're
It's across
not
the board.
transparent. They are not
Right.
transparent.
So, I mean, between Christine's question, my question, even Eddie's question, like it's, we can probably tie it into all our questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we should ask that specific question about increased parental involvement for CECs. I think, like Joe's saying, between my question, Eddie's question, and his question, that's going to kind of cover.
Okay, so we'll hide that. Okay, got it. Is this Frankie's question?
Yes, that is Frankie's
Okay,
question.
I think that's I think in light of St. Agnes, I mean, yeah, all of our options, we're still limited on high school options here.
So that might be like a, what do you call it? Not facility, SCA question, but Danielle, are you here?
Yeah, from here.
Is SCA, is she going to be there with SCA? I mean, this is location.
FCA, yeah, they might have Danielle there. But it's not a bad question to present to the chancellor because she could push that.
Okay, so.
Can I just
would-
wait?
Go
There's
ahead.
a word missing. The accessible to students on this side of Queens. He left out a word.
Well, so you would have to put it that Northeast Queens is, right, with accessible because of the busing, right? And the commuting, right? I would also add, other than St. Agnes, we have St. Fidelis that closed down, which we still haven't gotten an answer on.
What are you talking about? St. Fidelis is a
Not
school.
St. Fidelis, I'm sorry.
I'm like, we giving away my
sorry.
school, Joe?
Not your school. What's the other one?
Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity. So St. Agnes and Holy Trinity in Whitestone. Those
So are
are,
you thinking that they should be made into a high school?
well, those are parochial
city high
schools
school?
that are closed. They could be
Right.
great locations for high schools or something else, but yeah.
So there are two.
In the area that closed, right?
Change, yeah.
So
Yes?
what are your plans and how can you help us, move forward on that?
Well,
topic?
also too, we need to put in there, we need to add on and say, this side, we are very limited with our transportation to get to schools out of the area.
Right. That's what it's,
I mean, look, like Frankie wants to go to school in Manhattan. Theoretically speaking, my child has to leave the house at 5:30 in the morning to go to high school at 13 years old and be on a bus in the dark. He has to take a bus, 2 trains, and a ferry to go to school. Because there's no other high
But
schools
it's a valid
around here.
question. Yeah, it's tied in with the transportation also. So we're gonna leave that question in there, right?
Yes.
And then go to the next questions. How many more questions do we have?
It's like maybe 10 more. We're getting to the end.
Okay.
See, too bad we don't have our student on the panel anymore, because that would be a good question for a kid to ask.
I do like this question here, and that is actually, this was even before pandemic, these lunch issues and timings and stuff like that was always something. But
What question are you on? Number 28?
number
Or
28,
you're on
number
20?
28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you have 27
Um,
highlighted, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
that was-
9:30 lunch. But I think that's more of a program, Danielle. Is that more because of the schools are so crowded and program issues? Because I know that we've had this conversation before where people were complaining that, they're getting lunch at 9:30 in the morning.
You're muted, Danielle.
It doesn't make sense at all.
They're talking about, these students are talking about campus schools. So they're specifically talking about IS 25 and World Journalism because they're schools, they're 2 separate schools, they each need lunch periods.
Right.
So, and I think
Spacing issue.
the question, I think that this is a good question that came from a student. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's like, what happens based on school operations with shared campuses in having to share a cafeteria? Already some schools are eating really early in the morning. What is lunch going to look like? That's a student question. And I think it's a good question.
But that's even not just for shared campuses. I mean, that's just in a general school, sometimes because of the lack of spacing. And now that the kids have, well, not right now because they're reading in their classrooms, but there's not enough space. Some schools are having lunch at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's a good question.
Well, one of the things about that also is that I know in my son's school, we're using the gym and the cafeteria as classrooms. So in September, if they bring more kids back and we're still having to limit space, they still need that space for classroom space. So how are we going to have a lunch period?
That's the next question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
So exactly.
So let's leave 28 in, let's leave 29 in, right?
So we'll tie them together though. So what would we call that?
Lunch, cafeteria space.
Dual use
of space.
Use space. I'm spelling dual right. That's wrong.
How many more questions?
Okay, so I think the remote learning one, there's a lot, but it's all the same thing. So this next section is about 10 questions, all relating to remote learning and going back. Actually, it looks like might be the same submission a few times too. So these are all about remote learning. So that should really be lumped into one.
Maybe
Maybe along with-
33, maybe 33 would be a starting place.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
talk about teacher training, because those are the
Good
two big.
question.
That's Monica's question, what she was asking. Will remote learning continue in September? She was going to ask a question about that.
So that also, so I'll put Monica there and
There,
then
right.
she can reference that.
She's
She can
gonna
reference
tweak it,
those
right.
submissions for.
Right, because this is what she was talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Correct. So Monica again.
Monica.
So I'm gonna have, so just correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever you guys have my name, I'm gonna come up with one question that covers everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it
they're all, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. You're gonna say the same thing. Go ahead.
I was just saying it's all the same topic. So it's just create one question that encompasses all the comments from the
But if it's
constituents.
not possible, Monica, then we'll just have to just add the questions later on. I mean, I don't want you to.
I'll come up with something and then I'll just share it with you guys, and
And then we'll share it. And then if it's something that's like a separate question, we'll ask that separate question. It's no big deal.
If you look at the questions, they're all pretty much the same thing, just worded differently. It's
Okay.
Yeah. Just Danielle, you started to say something about teacher training in the remote process. Is there a statement you want to add to that for the thought process for the question?
Well, I think that was another remote learning question. What resources and trainings you could say will be provided if we continue with remote learning?
Okay, all right, so I'm going to highlight that one. That one says to students with disabilities. So would that be a separate category? Because that could be is that a separate question? A separate remote learning question? Or do you think that falls under Monica umbrella?
No, I think
it would be a separate question, no? You think it falls under the same category?
I think it's too big to be the same category.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
Danielle?
it needs to be a next question.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so additional remote question. Specific to, Lord help me today.
But that question could be accessible to students. And then next question, what about students with disabilities? I mean, it's
right.
It's got to be,
Or maybe just be accessible to students and students with general ed students and students with disabilities.
Well, they're probably going to be, it's going to be different resources. So it probably have to be two separate questions.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we understand what we're doing there. This is Victor, school performance.
Isn't that Rashmi's question? No, that was her.
Where is it? Oh my gosh. I just lost it. Oh, there. Will school return to normal hours before or by September?
Do we have any
I
questions?
don't know what normal hours are. I mean, that's.
Well, it used to be 8:20 to 2:20, right? I think.
Yeah, 8:20. Yeah, it was
8:20 to 2:20, and now it's 8:30 to 1:50.
Yeah.
But I think for elementary, wasn't it 8 to 2?
I think these are more school specific times, right? I mean,
yeah. What I think, I mean, schools haven't reduced student hours.
I think that some of the schools have staggered entry and dismissal for the COVID purposes.
Yeah.
I know that certain grades are getting out at a certain time, like maybe 5 minutes. And that might be where, especially in the more crowded schools.
Yeah,
like
129 definitely has scattered. And it's
right. And I can speak to the high school level too, middle school, we're a small school, so I can't speak to that. But I think that's probably what parents are talking about. Like they're not understanding that it's just staggered because of what's going on.
Well, I know like Harley's in 129, we lost an hour of the school day. We definitely lost an hour of the school day with the new
It was
times.
explained more back in the beginning that you're not really losing any educational time
Because it's a working lunch.
Right, because you work, right, I was just saying that's your lunch and your recess time.
So while it affects parents and not being able to, you know, have their kids away more, it doesn't affect the students with educational learning.
So that's not really a question. Let's just leave that as it's too varied. Are we agreement to that?
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
stating something like that might raise flags to the chancellor, and she might see like, what do you mean? And then it
Right.
might cause more, more trouble than it's worth.
Okay, number 42. I don't know why this won't move. Okay, here we go. These are all special ed questions.
That's not a District 25 issue, right?
Yeah.
We're all back in 5 days full.
Well, I think it was also answered that they're planning on having the makeup sessions in the summertime. So
I think
that
these
answers
questions
the-
all came from our special education meeting.
Yeah, I think that's already been. I think it's been answered.
I would also bet that they all came from the same person.
It's possible. I would go with that. So are we in agreement that that's really not where, I think it's been clear what they're going to do or what you have to ask for. And that's also school. You have to ask your school.
Well, honestly,
right?
I think I will say this. We received different feedback, so I would ask about makeup mandates. You could.
But
ask-
wasn't there another question already up there about, I thought I saw a question already about sessions being made up at the very beginning.
There was a reference up there. There was, you're correct on that. It was worded a little bit differently. These are really more, it was referring to makeup sessions for not,
I see the question about special education summer programs. If you guys want to ask any of those, it's up to you.
I think that question, Christine, went with the remote learning.
Okay, I just knew that I saw a question about
Yeah.
makeup sessions somewhere.
You did. It was,
If I were
yeah, it
gonna
was.
Ask a question, I would stick along the number 43. Because that's something about assessing, look at question number 43.
Yes.
I think that's probably the best one out of the
Yeah,
whole
that's what I
slew
think.
of them.
That's from our friend. Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. So I know. So that's
So it's 44, 45,
Yeah,
46.
no, that is a good question. I think that definitely sums it all up.
Yeah,
Right?
we have to just tie it, make it a little shorter, but we
Right.
could work with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good
My
starting
opinion
place.
is use that, and the other ones really don't apply right now. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Even as additional question in case we run out of questions, if you want to put it in the
Mhm.
pack.
Right.
And then the last question is about the transportation. The busing staff being tested for COVID. That is not currently a thing, from what I understand. Danielle might know better.
Who's in charge of busing, Danielle? Is that DOE?
You're muted.
OPT.
So, Danielle, just as a side, OPT, every time I call them, refers me back to my school.
That's a question.
They don't take the information anymore like they used to. They refer me back to the busing coordinator at the school, transportation coordinator at the school. So,
So that might be something that you want to talk about.
It's definitely conflicting information there.
That might be a question to ask.
Okay.
What are the guidelines for parents who have issues with busing? And are schools able to make decisions to fix busing issues? Am I able to say, this is a problem and this is what I want to do to fix it? And will OPT go, oh, okay?
Right.
Because otherwise.
So we'll keep that one in. Okay, so then that's it.
So
that's what we got.
Okay, so how many questions we have? I think we have, do we have enough? I think we have more than enough, right?
Let's, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have about, we're gonna lump that into one. We have about 18 questions.
Okay, so, and then Monica, you say you might have another question. So if you have that, put that in there when you have time. Let's figure we're gonna have between 18 and 20 questions.
Well, actually, what I'll do is just combine those questions.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll come out another question from everything. But
Okay.
I'll send you guys the information. I'll send it to you.
So I think we did a lot of progress, right? So what we need to do is, we know what questions we want to ask. We have another 2 weeks, right? We can meet again at our business meeting to discuss who's going to ask what questions other than the first 7, right? So we're pretty much good, right?
No
Because if we have 20 questions and we already have 7 that we are coming from the CEC, it's 13 questions. Then we have to divvy who's going to ask what question, right?
Yep.
Assign a name to it and then, tweak the question.
Okay, so I'll have this ready for tomorrow because we'll need to work fast on this because we're very, very time limited now.
Well, we have our
Right.
next business meeting, which is next Wednesday.
Right, but don't we have to give this to Juliana next Wednesday?
We can give it to her Thursday. I mean, yeah, I think we can give it to her before the weekend, and for our CEC town hall is Tuesday. She'll get it by Thursday.
Is that okay with didn't they want it a week before for the chancellor to have time to review? Does that fit that time frame?
I'll talk to Juliana about it tomorrow.
Okay.
So are you okay with, so we know what the questions are other than, Monica's question, right? And we can try to tweak it. But
Yeah,
I think
I'll tweak it out, send everybody an updated version tomorrow so everyone can tweak their questions and send it back.
Okay, and then I will ask Juliana tomorrow, and we still have time. We still have basically till Tuesday for a week before.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think if it's coming a day late, they're not gonna, it's not anything bad,
All right.
right? Anyone else have any questions, comments? We've been on for 2.5 hours.
It's not record breaking, but it's long.
Yeah, it's improvement.
Well, we did a lot of progress. I'm sorry, guys. We had to get through this. So we're good. If you guys want to communicate with me, you know where to find me. We're good for the next Wednesday's meeting, right? You guys know what questions, what page. And then we'll get through that, and then we'll figure it out.
Can colleagues do a summary and send it to us?
I'll tell, is Carly
Yeah.
here?
Yes,
I'm
she's
here.
Yeah.
Okay, Carly. So I wrote down the initials on, who's asking what questions. So we'll just go, the names for next Wednesday.
Okay.
And so we'll just, we'll give a summary to everybody based on that, and then Anne Marie will get me the questions, and then we'll figure out when on that. Is that what you're talking about, Victor?
Yes, that's fine.
All right. So Carly, you and I will talk tomorrow about, this next Wednesday's meeting.
Okay.
All right. Are we good?
We're
Anyone
good.
else have anything to say?
Motion to adjourn.
All
Good
right.
night.
Good night.
Thanks for your time, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, thank
Good
you. I'll
night,
talk to you
everyone.
in-
Work,
Mother's
everybody.
Day to
Everybody.
everyone. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right. Happy
Mother's
Mother's
Day.
Day to all your mothers. Yes.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Oh yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
Mother's Day. Danielle, I have a question for you.
Yes, Monica. How are you?
When are we getting the middle school's results?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
I think,
Because they told us April, then maybe
Yeah,
first week of May.
let me double check. I think it's in May. I'll double check.
Yeah, I think it's within the next, within the by the second week of May, I think they were
Yeah.
expecting to hear, to send out that information.
Yeah, I'll double check for you though, Monica.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Monica,
Alright.
feel better with your eyes.
Oh yeah, my allergies are killing me.
Oh, boy.
Aw.
Bad. All right, thank
All
you.
right, guys. Have a
Bye.
good night,
Happy
everyone.
Mother's Day.
Thank
Night.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good day,
Happy
everybody.
Mother's Day all.
Night.
Good night.
Happy Mother's Day.